Hello, welcome to the final game of today, day 2 of the big 3-day weekend RPG. We're going to end today with a game that is unknown for most of the players currently at this table. We're going to end with 10 Candles, which is a word's just gone completely out of my head now. It's a tragic horror game, which is not to be confused with a survival horror game, because survival implies the idea that characters make it out alive, and your characters will not make it out alive. This is established. But yes, this is a game by Stephen Dewey and published by Cavalry Games, and you might be familiar with it if you are watching for the second time, because we played this last year. So yes, let's open up to my players, who are now all in uniform. This hopefully will make sense in a second, but yeah. So I've been saying to people that are not familiar with this game that this is a zero prep game, and I do mean it. This is a game very much designed about the idea that character creation, for example, is a process that you go through at the beginning of the session, and we are all involved in it, including the DM, GM, whatever you want to call me. But I'm just going to read a little thing at the beginning that I think pretty much establishes what this game is. This is a game about telling a story. The story that you will tell is not a kind one, and far from a happy one. It is the sort of story that has sharp edges, the kind that lingers on after it's gone, nesting in nightmares and drifting on every shadow, the kind that no one wants to tell, the kind that needs to be told. This is a story about what happens in the dark, about survivors trying to light up their little corner of the world and do something meaningful within it in the few hours they have left. The story is about desperation and about when people like you and I fight back against the darkness, only to inevitably and inescapably be consumed by it. So, yes, we're going to have 4 characters by the end of the process, and we're going to have 10 candles lit. I will hopefully during the character creation explain how all of these mechanics work. We're only going to use the pool of D6s that you have between you on your tables.
Okay.
And then the special big D6s I will explain in a bit what they do. So the very first thing we're going to have is that you're going to pick up 2 index cards that you have in front of you, and the marker, and you are going to write at the top of one of them the word virtue, and at the top of the other one you're going to write the word vice. And Rob, if you would like to do me a favour and pick up 3 of those candles in front of you and just switch them on. This is a game meant to be played with live flame, but for obvious reasons we can't do that. And it's meant to be tea candles, but once again, these are what we have, and is what we...
Does it matter?
It does not matter which one you pick up. Yes. Yeah.
It's weirdly feel like wax.
Good. Great. So, each one of you is now going to write a virtue and a vice on the cards that you have. So, to give you an idea, a virtue is something that should solve more problems that it creates, and vice is something that creates more problems that it solves. If you want some examples of virtues: lucky, resourceful, watchful, merciful, daring, committed, handsome, hardy, etc. And examples of vice: afraid, greedy, regretful, addicted, naive, controlling, etc. So just have a minute to think about a virtue and a vice that you might have. Sorry, not that you might have, that the character might have.
It's not big enough.
Let's make that distinction. These are called your traits. Traits are used during game and can be burned, or in this case we'll tear them up, to re-roll the pool of dice that you have attempted to roll. But yes, I will explain all of this a little bit more. And as I check the book, I've already made my first mistake. This might happen quite a lot. I'll just keep going back because I don't run this game too many times or as frequent as I should, because it's really good. But you burn your trait to re-roll the ones that you roll on the dice.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, on the dices. You always roll, at the beginning of each scene, you always roll the number of candles that are lit.
Okay.
So you'll start by rolling 10, and every time, might as well just explain it, every time you roll all dice, if you have 1 6 is a success for your roll. If you have, and every one that you roll is dice that are taken out for the rest of the scene. And we have 20 dice on the table, or 30 dice, but we have 20 dice on the table, but it's one communal pool. So
Right. Okay.
if Matt, if you roll 1 6 and 4 1s, those 4 1s also go from that pool. The idea is that we're all rolling the same pool of dice, but because you are separated in different tables, we're going to do that. I always roll the number of candles that are snuffed, and I'm not rolling to see if you fail or succeed. We are rolling to see who gets narration rights of the success of what happens. So it might occur that you succeed the roll that you are going for, and you roll 3 6s. If I roll 4 6s, you still succeed. I just get to say how that happens, as opposed to you letting us know. Does everyone have a virtue and a vice?
Yes.
Amazing. So let's then do the really fun thing, which is the part where I tell you that those virtues and those vices are not the ones of your character. So I would like everyone to pass your virtue to your right.
Let's give it a fun one.
I will move.
I lost a chair.
Oh,
Thank you.
Good virtue.
I'll take that as a virtue. Yeah.
And likewise, I'd like you to pass the one that has your vice to the player on your left.
there you go.
Thank you very much.
That's an interesting combination.
What made me laugh is you've written exactly what I was going to write.
Yeah, he's actually
that fits really well.
Yeah, they
thanks
go
very much.
together.
Great. So now that we have a virtue and a vice, I am going to introduce the module that we are playing, which is going to be one named Adrift. So that's going to be on this page, because I wrote that. You all know the drill. 10 days ago, they came. 5 days ago, the lights went off. They lurk in the shadows. They hunt you. The cruise ship has been silent for those 10 days. Silent save the occasional howl of the wind, the screams quickly silenced, the motors have gone quiet, and you have been adrift in the darkness. Backup energy and emergency lights held out for some time, but now even they have begun to fade. There were rumors of a secondary backup generator below deck, but with no one to activate it, the ship is being overtaken by night. Perhaps even more unsettling, however, is the fact that less than an hour ago, the ship's motor started once more. I'm going to start that again. Sorry. Restart and engage your brain. That's all I'm going to do, and stop being nervous. Ignore that. And your job is simple. You ride into town, you retrieve any survivors, and get them to safety. The Humvee is loaded with enough gas to get there, but you'll need to stop at a local station for refueling to get out again. Not too much room for passengers, so your team will have to be creative when you see what you're dealing with. The helicopter pickup at Drop Point Delta is arriving in less than 2 hours. You have got guns and enough floodlights to surround your car with a halo of protection, at least for now, but little else. There's supposed to be a safe house on the way into town that might have some supplies if it hasn't been picked up clean. For now, though, the drive is long and the roads are dark. Be ready. Cool. I want you to now pick up another card, another index card that you have, and you are going to write some concepts. What are concepts? Concepts are name, look, and the actual concept. So name is the name of your character. The look is what do we get from them at a first glance. And a concept is something that we, in a few words, who are they, what are they, etc., etc., etc.
So I would assume by the context of kind of the Humvee that we and the uniforms we're currently wearing that we're in the military to some capacity?
Resistance of some capacity. Yes.
Okay.
Concepts are meant to be sort of like a snapshot, so there's no need to go into too much detail. Examples of this are Andrew, mid-40s, salt and pepper hair with long black coat, retired lawyer. William Cale, 9 years old with a bright face and dark eyes, just a kid. So stuff like that helps us get an idea of who they are. Wait for a couple of plays to finish.
So it's name, appearance, and
Concept. So like, what are they? Who are they? So retired lawyer.
Okay.
Just a kid. Concepts like that.
Yeah.
Got everything? Amazing. I would then, that's concepts created, so I'll ask Rob if you want to light up 3 more candles for me, please. You are closer to the candle, so you'll be a designated candle handler.
Fine.
If you haven't caught up by now, there's quite a ritual to this game of like waiting for the candles, and it will only become more evident as the game progresses.
I think this one's battery isn't working.
Ooh. Is it not?
It flicks on, but it doesn't stay on.
I'm going to very quickly. Well, I'll quickly catch another one as I give you the next thing to write. So just pop it to the side for now, and I'll just go grab another one. Just leave it. So next up, I want you to. I'm going to go around the table, and I'm going to ask you to introduce your characters. This includes saying what your virtue and your vices are. And then obviously your concepts. So if you want to start with Finn.
yeah. So I am Richard Hawkins, or Richie to his friends. He's young in his mid-20s, fairly strong, bright-eyed, dark-haired, and got a short beard to him, but well trimmed. He was, before the events that have befallen us, a young trainee pilot. He was at university studying to fly commercial airliners. And then you want the vice of virtue as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And he is strong but volatile.
Nice.
Great.
I'll be playing Dan Williams. He's a man in his early 30s, sort of like a short, sort of blondish beard. He's tall and strong, but not as fit as he maybe once was. And he was an ex-star sportsman. So his virtue is courage under pressure, but his vice is that he's foolhardy. I'm sure there's no way that could go wrong for him.
Pressure and foolhardy.
Yeah.
Right. And he was an ex.
He was like a sportsman, you know. Like, yeah.
Okay. Rob.
I am Frank Johnson. I'm scrawny, young, like early 20s, bald. I was an engineer. I'm very sad. Not like you're sad, but like genuinely like not much joy in his life. His virtue is that he is adaptable. His vice is that he's very pessimistic.
Great. Matt.
Yeah, so I'm Jake Dunn, mid to late 20s, sort of bright blue eyes, perfectly coiffed hair, always distracted by my reflection, and prior to these events I was a salesman. My virtue is that I'm brave, and my vice is that I'm narcissistic, if you've not got that already.
So these vices and virtues are, as I said, used to re-roll any ones that you might have on the roll that you attempted. However, the only rule is that they have to be at the top of the pile. I'll explain in a bit. And you have to be able to introduce them into the role in a narrative way of some sort. If, for example, we had a character that was looking for medical supplies in a kind of vet store, and that person failed the role, but they have a virtue that they are like street smart, for example. They could say because I sort of know what could be used in animals and in humans, I would be able to like fashion something together, re-roll, and yeah, that's the way. And then we will tear that virtue or vice up, and it's done for the game. So it's a one-use thing. Great. So now we're gonna, now that we have our characters, we're going to plan our moments. So everyone at top of the next index card is going to write, "I will find hope, ... And this is used once again. This is a moment that your character is sort of working towards. You are trying to put your character through this moment, and that means that it's very much a personal scene or event that will be significantly lived for the opportunity of finding hope. Hope is the dice that you have in front of you. They are special dice. They are the hope dice. They are dice that cannot be lost. So even if you roll a 1, it continues to be in your pool, and they have successes on 5s and 6s. They can only be lost by one thing, and I will explain what that is later. But go ahead, take a moment to plan your moment. I'm going to get another candle, and I'll be back. So, examples of moments. I will find hope in a moment of prayer at a quiet church, when one of them lies dead at my feet, when the truth of the sky is revealed to me, when I find my sister dead or alive, in the contents of my stash back home, when the fallout shelter doors is closed. I will be right back. Got them? Great. Let's go around the table again and let's read those moments.
I will find hope proving my worth to my kinsman.
I'll find hope when I have a chance to be a hero.
I will find hope when Anna has been laid to rest.
And I will find hope when I fired my final bullet.
When you...
Fired my final bullet.
Nice. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great. And so, finally, Rob, if you want to light 3 more candles, and that means that we should have only 1 left.
I'm not sure my arms are long enough.
That's the only thing, though.
I can't believe it's smack. You're wiping up and went no. Sorry.
Yep. So it's just the 1 left, right?
Yes, that little
It's
one.
just a little one, yeah.
Great. So at this point, everyone should have a good idea about the characters around this table. So now I would like, well, it's time to pick up the last index card that you have, and I will also be picking up 1 for this one. And I would like everyone apart from Finn, I believe, to write atop of this card, I have seen you. I'm going to write. Finn, you are going to write, I have seen them.
Okay.
So, we are going to write brinks for the person to our left. Brinks they're not quite like traits in the sense that this is not something that defines the character. This is something that character is capable of. When they are on their lowest point, in their darkest hour, this is something that they are capable of doing. What the character may become when pushed to the edge of fear, hopelessness, and desperation. So everyone around this table, or most people around this table, are going to know 2 brinks, themselves and the person to their left. Except for Matt, who will have their brink hidden, because the brink for Matt is going to be what they, whoever they are, have seen Jake do. Finn has you have a really interesting position right now, which is you are going to write what you have seen them do, which means that you are going to very much define what they are, or at least give me an idea of what they are. Examples of brinks are, I've seen you kill, abandon, rage, lie, hide, cry, sacrifice, betray. I've seen you destroy what you care about most. I saw you on trial before the world went dark. 3 dead, your family, you monster. Stuff like that. For them, you are pretty much free to write whatever you want. There's only one rule, is that the brink for them has to establish a strength. So it can't establish a weakness. I've seen them be weak to water, is not considered to be a brink. So the stuff that you can write are, I have seen them move like shadows, shaped in front of me, howl at the pale moon, consume the dead, possess the living. I have seen them, and I know this is all an experiment, I have seen them and they serve the witch of the woods. I have seen them and they are the gods made manifest. So stuff like that is vague, but still can give me an idea of what they are. So no one knows what they are. This is the idea. And I'm going to write what they have seen Jake do.
Okay.
Right. So. have them. I'm gonna then we can pass them around to the left, and I'll pick yours.
Thank you very much.
Great. So now that we have our moments, our brinks, our traits, we know everything about our characters, which is great. We are going to arrange the stacks that we have. So a couple of rules for this is that you can put them in any order you want. However, the brink has to be the last thing. So it has to be the brink has to be the first card that goes in, and then from then on you can organize however you want the remaining 3 cards. The concept is not part of this stack. That is more information for you. And ideally, we won't have more than 1 moment as the first card. We can have no moments as the first one, but ideally we would have no more than 1. Brinks, which I forgot to explain, work a little bit like moments. So they are a character may choose to embrace their brink to attempt to re-roll a dice. They have you can use your brink to re-roll the entire dice pool, even the ones that have landed on 6, and if at least 1 dice lands on the 6 or hook dice on the 5, the conflict is successful. You lose all the 1s and you proceed with narration. Unlike traits and moments, the brink can be embraced multiple times, and you only lose it once you fail the brink. And if you fail a brink, you lose your hope dice as well. So it's the only way that you can use your hope dice. Yes. And if you embrace your brink and you fail, the most likely thing is that your character also dies, consumed by the darkness within them or around them. So yes. So take a moment to arrange your stacks however you like.
So that's the 4 cards apart from
That's the 4 cards apart from the concept card. Really. We all got one? Have you all settled?
Yep.
Amazing.
Got this stack.
So, with that, there's only one last thing, which is inventory supplies. Your character begins with whatever you, as players, have in your pockets right now.
I've played this game twice and I've always forget to have something useful in my pocket.
I've got a load of dice in my pocket.
Great. Equipment beyond this can only be acquired through establishing truth, which I'll explain
wish
a
I'd
little
not
bit,
put my keys down now.
or conflicts, or locate supplies.
You're going to crack up one day when I come to this game with a knife somehow.
I am. I will finally have learned. So, with that,
Oh, that is useful.
Survivalist in the corner.
Yeah. How big are your pockets? Guess we can use the dice like sort of caltrops.
Yeah. There are some D4s.
Or just like King of the Hill, just pocket sand.
I think that's it.
very.
Sure. Check the back pockets.
Yeah, that's what it was. I'm just really surprised that not everyone carries around loads of stuff in their pocket.
Yeah, I've got a car key and my phone and a wrapper.
I always carry loads of stuff.
I mean, I brought my phone in my pocket. But like,
There we go. So we can all take a load of selfies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
The apocalypse.
world's ending.
Great. So, we've got our 10 candles lit. The very final thing that we must do before we jump in is that I would like for people to, for your characters even, to write a parting message for the world they will inevitably leave behind. So I will pass my phone as a recording device, press record, and then we'll just pass it around the table. For the recording, your character may leave any brief message they wish. They might call out to family members, foreshadow their moments, request aid from anyone who might be listening, or simply say goodbye. Yes. And once the recording is complete, we will, the first scene will begin. And then there's only one other thing, but that's for later. So, I will pass it on. I'll pass it on to you.
No pressure. Not first.
If you're hearing this, they got us. We couldn't save them. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. I don't have any words left to say. Tell my family, if you find them, that I love them. And I wish everyone the best. May luck treat you all well.
Hey guys, we're off on a rescue mission, so if any of you read this broadcast, try and meet up with us. We're coming through with a Humvee, and we are armed to the teeth, so don't worry about it, we'll be with you soon. Keep your eyes out.
Anna, I'm sorry. I just couldn't do it. Just forgive me.
Well, this could be it. So, well, what do I want my final words to be? They've got to be epic, right? I hope everybody remembers the hair, because it was awesome. But, look guys, I'm sorry. I'll call that out right now. Just don't forget the hair.
Alright, so we begin on the road. The Humvee sits 6, and you are, there's 2 of you at the front, 2 of you at the back. The road is dark, like very much everything these days, and you're not quite sure what time it is. You know that internet does not work anymore. They seem to have covered the skies and with it any access to satellites, so it is quite complicated to figure out what time it might be. But you are driving, the lights are on, you are heading to, well, try to retrieve any survivors in town. Town is a couple miles away still, so there's still a little bit of time for you to talk amongst yourselves, or sit in silence if there is nothing else to say.
I'm staring in the rearview mirror just like...
I'm Frank. Do we know anything else apart from survivors?
From what I hear, there should be somewhere to refuel this whole thing, and then I guess we'll be carrying on our way. You know, picking up everyone we go. I mean, we've only got 2 seats, so they're going to have to. I'm sure there'll be a bit of hot competition for that.
Well, if one of us doesn't die.
I think we'll be fine. I don't think this Humvee's going to take us and anyone that we find. Hopefully, we find plenty of people, but there's only space for 2 more.
Oh, I tell you what, we need a bus. We need to get like a tour bus. Can you imagine? Do you think you can fix a gun to the tour bus?
I mean, I could probably do that.
There you go. Cheer up.
I mean, I've got to find a bus first.
Come on, man.
No, look, it's been... Yeah, fine, you're probably right.
It's only a bus.
Yeah, like I can... I'm pretty handy. I can fix stuff and make stuff work.
Eyes peeled. We're gonna get it.
Alright.
You know me. I'll just run in, create a distraction. No problems. Get the bus, get out.
Making the mirror lying around it.
Gotta be done. Don't work this long on this just to look piss poor when we're saving the world, right?
Who's driving?
I'll drive.
Richard, you, as this conversation is kind of like happening in the back, you've been driving for a couple dozen miles, maybe, and suddenly you notice something that you haven't seen for a while. There is a car in the middle of the road. Kind of is stationary, so it's not moving, and it's kind of like stopped at like an angle. And you kind of see it in the distance as you are driving in. Is there anything that you would like to do, say, in the situation, or just carry on?
Are there barriers either side of the road?
Yeah, there are.
So we can't like go past it, or is it like, is it blocking our way?
You can. Oh no, you can go past the car. It's like 3 lanes, and you are on like.
Okay, so it's like a motorway. And
Yeah.
Hey guys, look at that.
Not big enough to be a bus. Do we get a convoy going?
So it might carry a few survivors.
Just leave it. It's not worth the risk.
No, I guess if somebody's abandoned it, it's probably out of fuel anyway.
I wouldn't bother.
Alright.
Never know what's...
Just go slow past it. See if there's anyone there. They might need a lift.
Yeah, so we do a slow pass and see if we spot anyone or anything as we go by. See if any lights are on in the car or anything like that.
Roll me a conflict roll, please. So, you are attempting to do something that is the outcome is uncertain.
Okay.
So for that, there's no skills checks in this, but there are conflict rolls. So conflict roll means you pick up your dice pool, and you're gonna roll all of them. If you get a 6, that's a success. If you get 1s, they get removed until the end of the scene.
Okay. Alright. We have a 6 and 2 1s.
Great.
I could not say 6 then. I was like...
That would have been impressive. So put those 2 1s to the side, and guys, take 2 1s out of your pool as well.
I'll just take 2 dice out.
So success, and you rolled more 6s than I did. So you get narrative rights. So what do you see once you look over?
Okay, so we're passing by in the car, and then obviously we've got the other car across in the middle of the road, kind of diagonally facing almost towards us. And as we're coming past, we look in. There are no lights on in the car, from what we can tell. But the windscreen seems to be smashed inwards. All the glass has like burst in, and as we drive past slowly, all we can see are 2 slumped figures in the front of the car. No movement. You can clearly tell that whoever they were, they're dead. And so, as we pass on by, I speed on up with no intention of stopping and finding out what happened.
I knew it was going to be something like that.
Boo.
At least we slowed down. Come on, man. Cheer up.
Yeah, we never know when we might find survivors. We're here to help others like us.
In an abandoned car in the middle of a motorway is where you can find survivors.
You never know. Might have been just trying to get the rocks off. It's dark after all.
And if there's no one
I
about,
remember the last time you did that.
Well, no, that's a good question.
Driving continues, and eventually you start to see a couple more cars here and there, it seems that clearly you are approaching the city and you are arriving at your destination. And you see more and more cars appear and appear and appear and appear. And eventually you find yourselves in a little bit of a traffic jam. Like cars have been put in different angles, just kind of stop. Feels like people just stop the cars and just abandon them. There is potentially a way for you guys to kind of go off-road, but it is kind of uncertain currently.
So there's no way to weave through the traffic, it's just...
From your conflict roll.
You need to be very careful speaking.
Yeah. We can try and check.
I'll use the dice tray. There's 2 6s in there.
Great.
And no 1s.
Amazing. You rolled more 6s than I did, so...
I'll say Jake sort of leans over and says, looks like there's a path through there, and we'll just slowly sort of creep through. And I'll turn around to everyone and say, safety catch is off. What do you reckon? Yeah. And I'll have my rifle just sort of out of the window as we just snake through. We don't stop, but we just snake through the traffic.
Yeah. So as you are kind of making your way through the traffic, there is more examples of cars with smashed windshields, and it's kind of, it's people inside those cars with just like the glass just completely like over them. It seems like there's some people on the road. They might have been like run over by other cars that came in, or might have just kind of been toppled by others as they fell, and then other people just went up. The booth of the cars, some of them are open, some of them are closed, but you kind of make your way without stopping. And eventually you arrive on the outskirts of the city. The lights of all the buildings are off, and you are kind of making your way through the kind of outskirt, but like you are taking on the main road that you can tell, and before you is just a like field of towering shadows in front of you. Just the only sort of distinction that you can make is because of the light of your car that is hitting some of the shapes and then creating shadows upon shadows is the only way that you can distinguish this from the darkness of the sky. Where would you like to go? What's the plan, gang?
Man, I hate these shadows and this love the light. The shadows creep me out. Where would survivors be? They're going to be somewhere defensible, somewhere warm, like hospitals,
Supermarkets.
Supermarkets probably been ransacked early, but possibly. Yeah,
Arguably so with the hospitals.
true. I think we probably hospitals, hotels, supermarkets is probably a good shout.
Maybe a police station.
True.
Hospitals will probably be on the signs.
Yeah, be easier to find.
True, that is true. There I'll have a look as we go, see if I can see any hospital signs.
How's that roll, please?
Hotel signs. Premier Inn.
That is
There's a couple of ones in there.
sixes and a couple of ones. I am going to look out the window. I can't see any hospital signs, but wouldn't something like a sports stadium, that would be signposted, and that would have like VIP areas with rooms and stuff. That we might be able to find that. And I would like to try and use adaptable.
Yes, I will allow that. Yeah. So please tear up your adaptable. Great. And so you re-roll everything that isn't a 6.
Yeah,
Let me double check.
I think it's 1.
Yes.
That wasn't.
There was no 6s on there.
Yeah, there were no 6s. So, I said this about half an hour ago, and I literally cannot remember anymore. Right traits. Here we go. So. All the dice that landed on 1.
There is a 6. There's 1 6 and no 1s.
Right. So yeah, go ahead. It's your stage.
After a little bit of driving along, I'd go, guys, there it is. Sports stadium. I don't know, I think it's a football stadium. Carry on and go left. It's there. And I'll point out the sign. And it says mile.
A mile to the stadium.
So you can probably see it on the horizon, I'd imagine.
Yeah. There's a well, no, you wouldn't be able to see it because of the darkness, so it's just kind of like really empty. But the Humvee is enough. The light of the Humvee is enough to follow the road, and there are. It's clearly been a town that's been neglected for far too long. There's kind of obviously bins that haven't been collected, like all that trivial stuff that we think of in our day-to-day lives, but when the world's actually falling apart, it doesn't. In the grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter. So that's kind of the first stuff that gets neglected, and you do see obviously like some bodies around, shops that have been looted, glass completely broken, and all of that. But eventually, you arrive. You see through the headlights of the Humvee this huge structure, kind of like defining itself from all the rest, and you recognize it as being a stadium. So yes, what would you like to do?
I would like to sort of, I don't know if we've got like a window or something I can wind down and just do a quick, scan out through the darkness and what we can see in the headlights. Can I see any movement at all?
Yeah, that's going to be a conflict.
That's all right. No, I knew I was going to.
I was thinking, I'm like,
I did not like that face.
Yeah, no, it's like it's not my place to define whether or not now. So.
Okay. Oh yes, I've got. Oh, okay. I've got 3 6s, but I've also got 2 1s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's worth re-rolling them that early, so I'll just put those
Great.
out for now. So
Take 2 1s out.
yeah, so we're missing 4 1s now. But yeah, 3 6s.
So just to clarify, we take any dice out. They don't have to be showing 1s.
No.
Oh no.
Yes. So any
just
ones
have
that
the
get rolled.
same number.
Yeah. So you always have the same number.
So yeah, so I'm down to 6 to roll now.
So you guys, please.
Yeah. So.
What do we say?
No, I was asking if there's movement or not. Now I have to make that call. Yeah.
You know this game.
I know I do, and I still get myself in this position. Okay. Yeah, I think I look out and there is really nothing, but I think there is a sound. We can hear some kind of sound sort of further in that kind of direction, but it's kind of too sort of almost out of reach, too difficult to pinpoint where it is. But there is something, but nothing in the immediate vicinity. But there is some kind of sound deeper within.
Within the stadium.
Yeah.
Cool. Right.
Yeah, I can't see anything, guys, but I can hear something in there. Do you reckon it's people?
Only one way to find out.
Yeah.
So the people or deaths, might as well go and find out. Sorry, I know, I'll try not to do that. I'm sorry.
Right, so I think we pull up in the car park of the stadium.
Yeah, let's put it in so we've got a clean shot out. If
Yeah,
goes
just
south.
leave the doors open, take the keys with us or whatever. Just so that we can get back in. Unless you guys have any objections to that.
No.
I mean,
You know.
I don't think we've got any reason to think they can drive, right? It'd be pretty funny if they could, but no.
We just come out and they're joyriding.
No.
Sense of humour.
But yeah, so
Hey mate, it's the end of the world.
might as well own it, right? You know. But yeah, so I think obviously, you know, hopping out, rifles up, you know, just kind of like checking around. You know, I'm assuming we've got flashlights with us, so we're just trying to like keep everything well lit. You know, try and move as a group. You know, and then I guess we should make our way to the front entrance, or do we want to find a side entrance somewhere?
I am going to ask you to roll a conflict roll for flashlights.
Okay.
Because the Humvee has lights, but
Okay, that is.
No sixes.
no sixes.
But
One, but no
you
sixes.
could try and... I don't know how you
I don't know how I would.
bring in strong to find flashlights.
Uh,
You got one light, it's real heavy.
Rips out the Humvee.
tell you what,
Are we allowed to suggest, or
Sure, yeah.
strong doesn't necessarily mean physically strong?
It's left open.
I don't know how that helps you.
It is a statement, yes.
I mean, you've still only got a 1 in 6 chance of, you know, so... it's not-
yeah, I think I am gonna burn the strong. Yeah, I think my plan is then I'm like, you know, I check the car, I can't find any flashlights, so I think I'm gonna go over to one of the other cars around that like looks like, you know, because obviously a lot of people have parked up and just like left their cars, presumably come to the stadium thinking like a helicopter might land here or something like that, and they've just left their cars just open, bonnets open because someone's broken down, all that kind of thing, and just with my strength I just yank out a car battery and then yank the headlight off the front and just try and connect the poles.
Yeah, I'll allow that. Tear your strong leg.
You've only got one thing.
Yeah, I know. I'm just hoping. Alright,
Get flexing.
a 5.
So,
What could go wrong with your car battery plan?
So we reached the point where we didn't roll any sixes, which means the scene is over. So a candle is going to go out. So Rob, if you please reach out to one of the candles and.
Did we like the last one?
Yeah,
Yes,
I got that.
we did.
So does that mean we get these 4 dice back then?
Yes.
Well,
Yes, you should now have a pool of 9 dice.
so we only get 3 of them.
Okay, yes.
A pool of 1. Before the beginning of each scene, apart from the first one in 10 Candles, we take a moment to establish truths. So this is almost like a prayer, where I begin to say these things are true, and then I say the first one, and then we go around the table as many times as there are candles lit. And this is an opportunity for everyone around the table to establish truth about this story. It can be something about the immediate situation we are in. It can be something about the state of the world. It can be something about how the group is feeling, how your character is feeling. And it can be used to either jump the story a couple of scenes, if this was a film later, or to keep us in exactly the same situation that we are in, just advancing slightly, or perhaps even narrating or like giving a spin of what just happened, taking into account that it was a failure, so the skill failed, but maybe instead of getting the headlight working, you still have a working battery. So stuff like this that can be used to kind of push the story a little bit forward. And those things are true about the story, and we'll just take them as true. And then at the end, we say, and we are alive, at the end of the final one, because that is also true. So these things are true. The world is dark. And breaking into the car didn't set off any alarms.
I'm assuming I just say a truth. I don't have to repeat the whole thing.
No, just say the truth.
We're all still reliant on each other.
Anna is in that stadium.
Whatever the noise is I heard, it's getting louder.
I have an impending sense of dread.
Just you.
Just me.
You can have it as well, just because it wasn't said doesn't mean that
just all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That fits.
The grates of the stadium are closed.
There's windows into rooms of the stadium.
They like to play with their food.
I've got a really bad feeling about going in here.
And we are alive.
And we are alive.
So, through our establishment of truths, we didn't really move the story too forward. So I will say that we pick up exactly with Richard as you pull up the battery, you pull up the headlight, and then you try to jerry-rig something together, but
Fool, that's
just not working.
You damaged all the wires.
You can give it a go if you like. Look,
Hey,
at
you've
least.
already broken it.
Well, look, at least we have a car battery. I mean, this thing sparks, right? So we're fine. But yeah, I mean, I think we just need to move on.
Yeah, guys, I don't like the idea of going in here. I mean, we could always just give a shout, see if any survivors come out. We pick them up, and if any of them come out, we shoot them.
Just a shower and tell them where we are.
Well, yeah, it's that, or we go in there completely blind.
I mean, I'm all for going in.
There's
I'll
going
just
to be resources.
let's go have a quick look.
Well,
There
look,
might be resources in there.
there might well be. I mean, they'll have some kind of medical stuff, surely, because obviously when you have sports, some people might get injured, so we can get some medical bits.
Yeah, they'll have some,
Well, look, you're a sportsman. You tell us.
The gates are shut as well. It doesn't look like
Yeah, but there's
they've been
windows.
broken in.
Oh, God.
Go through the window.
Put a brick through the window and we're in.
Or put your battery through the window.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, great. Yeah, we haven't made enough noise.
Yeah, you want to shout?
Yeah, but then at least that's, actually attracting people to us, as opposed to just, well, whatever. I'm not voted. I don't think you're going to find any medical stuff better than a few ice packs, though. They're fucking useless, these people.
I mean, I don't mind sitting on an ice pack. At home you get pretty hot.
All right, then.
Pretending people are still able to make stupid bloody jokes.
Window, break through the window, then?
Maybe an elbow, rather than or the butt of the rifle.
Rather your elbow than mine.
Yeah, if we can find something sharp enough, we can cut a hole in it rather than making a noise.
Or I could just wrap this around the butt of the rifle, then I'll make slightly less noise.
Yeah, that's what we could do.
I mean, there is a noise in there. I can't really make out what it is. There is a noise in there anyway. Hopefully maybe we can time it so they don't hear us. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm well aware what it is. Can I tell what the noise is?
Let's see.
Make it good.
That's 6.
It's 9 ones.
2 6s.
2
Hey.
6s, 1 1.
All right.
Okay.
So we'll have this as our permanently done. We'll have this as
yeah.
temporary.
Yes, there should be a dice that is completely out of play. Cool.
So
You rolled more 6s than I did, so. Yeah.
as the noise is getting louder, it continues to get louder and louder, and it is like a mixture between a cackle and a giggle. There is something in this stadium that is laughing. It sounds like it's coming across the speakers in the stadium.
Still feeling good about going in here, guys, or?
I'll take a team vote.
I don't know.
We've got to get something from somewhere, right?
Yeah, go on, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, let's go in,
Like,
have a look around.
if it was me, I could. That might be a deterrent. That might, like, I could rig something up to do that. Maybe.
Well, there you go.
That's, yeah,
It
alright.
could be that, but I don't know. It could also be like.
Right, fuck it, I'm going in. So I'm going to smash a window. Or first wrap my jacket around the butt of my rifle to just lower the impact, and then try and smash the window.
Go ahead and give me a conflict roll.
One and 1 6.
Right. What happens?
Rifle connects, window shatters just as one of those cackles sort of sounds quite loud, so it's dulled the sound. And I sort of poke my head in, shimmy on through, and the room's empty. But there is a door beyond that is currently closed. And I sort of poke my head back out and sort of look at you. Boom.
I like genuine like.
It's fine, man. I said it'd be alright. Come on, in.
And we have all got loaded guns, you know that, right?
I trust you. Come on. Anybody need a hand?
Yeah,
Just sort
give
of
me a hand.
Sort of pull you up and in.
I would also take that. And then
Sort of
like.
team in.
I'll be the last one, the lightest, you know, so I'll,
Spring.
yeah, just lift me up.
Vault in. Superhero landing on the other side.
Great, yeah, you all make yourself, kind of pull yourselves into this tiny room, which has like sort of like filing cabinets on both sides of the room. Apart from that, it's completely deserted. Even the filing cabinets are pretty empty, but there is a door on the other side, and yeah, the door. Kind of try the door, and the door seems to be unlocked. So, yeah, who's going out first?
Take point.
Great. Where are you heading?
Knowing what stadiums are like, personally.
That makes one of us, because I'd be going, oh my god, if I have to describe a stadium.
Usually rooms are off sort of corridors that sort of lead left and right. So I think, judging on the fact that we're pretty much, we went for the central entrance, right? We can go left or right. So I'm just going to make the call and say, I look left, and sort of head that way. And just slowly but surely creep down the hallway.
Where is the ultimately you want to end up?
Trying to aim for either the physio room or the medical room of the stadium.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I say that those two rooms, I'm going to say, are sort of together, so they are sort of the same general area of the stadium. And yeah, you start traveling and making your path there until eventually it is dead quiet, apart from the every sort of cackle and giggle that echoes through to the speakers of the stadium. It doesn't seem to come from any like intercom within the sort of back end of the stadium at all. It just seems to be echoing in the field, sort of audience speakers, and you eventually kind of make your way towards the location where you see physio and medical room. So, what would you like to do?
If there are survivors, maybe this is quite a sensible place for them to know and out they might be in here, or at least if they haven't found this place, they might need help. So just go and have a look.
You having a nosy?
There must be a window on the door, right? You know, kind of like your normal office buildings. You've got like a door and then a vertical window.
I'll say so.
So,
Cool.
who wants to peer in?
I'm going to continue just looking down the corridor, so scouting ahead if you like.
Yeah, like covering it.
Yeah.
I'll look through the window.
I'll
great.
take rear guard.
Go ahead and
Charlie.
roll me
That is 1-6, no ones.
Brilliant. What room are you looking through, and what do you see?
I am looking into the medical room and I see a trashed room, and there are 3 bodies on the floor. One of a young woman, one of a older woman, and one middle-aged girl. They are not complete.
Yeah, there is sort of just the very the faintest of like reflections, and you can see that there is a big pool of blood in the middle of this room. The blood of these 3 individuals that seems to have just come together and just made a massive bullet center. But yes, that is what you see.
It's not pretty, guys.
Do you want to go in for the ice packs?
I mean, when you say not pretty, what are we talking about?
There's bodies in there, there's a big pool of bloods.
Well.
I don't know if that... we should... I don't know if I'm first going in, but we should probably check if there's anything in there, right? They must have been in there for a reason.
Might at least be, I don't know, bandages or something.
Yeah, well, look, if you don't want to go in, you stay on guard out here. I'll go in. Someone come with me.
I'll come in.
Key watch.
Yeah, so I'm gonna head in.
Take my gun up and watch the corridor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna keep my eyes kind of like deliberately averted from the bodies. But I did used to. Why did I choose a sports person? I did used to play the sports, so I'll be looking. I've already been in a similar kind of room to this before, so I'll be like looking for like a drawer with medical stuff in. But genuinely, I'm kind of thinking like ice packs, bandages. Like a first aid kit. I'm not thinking anything too high end, but I just want to get something out of this godforsaken place and go. So I'll go and look for that kind of stuff.
Go ahead.
That is 1-6 and 1-1.
Great. Take a 1 out.
So we're down to
6.
down to 6 now. Yeah.
Six, yeah.
Okay.
What do you find?
Yeah, I found almost exactly what I'm looking for. There's one drawer, there's one kind of cabinet that I skip because the blood pool is kind of like really leaking that way, and I don't want to get in it. So I will, but I still get. Like I say, I get kind of a pretty basic first aid kit, and there's a few. They're not really bandages exactly, but they're kind of like tubey grips for like sprains and strains, and some of those like ice packs that you can kind of crack to activate. So yeah, I get a couple of those, and then maybe like two basic first aid kits and a couple of ice packs.
Nice.
And then I'll go outside and be like, I've got your ice packs. Can we get the fuck out of here?
Chalking that up to a win?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm starting to think that if there was anyone here, the creepy laughing would have got rid of them. I wouldn't be sticking around, so. What do you reckon? Head out?
It's probably the safest bet. Don't stick around and get picked off.
Aren't we here to look for the survivors, and aren't they part of the survivors? How do we know that the rest of them aren't the ones doing that now?
I mean, for me, that kind of gives us a clear indication. You can go looking if you want. I ain't averse to it, but you got 3 bodies.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if there had been survivors here, they wouldn't be leaving these guys just, in a pool of their own blood. If they're trying to, bunker down here.
Something got in and got them.
Yeah.
So, we don't know. There could be something else in these corridors somewhere.
The door was shut as well.
Yeah.
At this point, perhaps for the first time, the cackle coming from the stadium proper, you get a sense that, like, all of a sudden, especially you, Frank, it has been kind of infrequent and just cackle stop. This time you very distinctively think you hear a word in the cackle, and the laughter is in such a way that it seems to spell out the word Hannah.
Is it Anna?
Yeah.
Yeah, Anna. Right. Yeah, cool. I will instantly and I will run. I am gone towards that field.
Hey, Frank, what are you doing?
Pony up, cowboys, let's go.
Just book it after him.
Yeah. I think probably the instinct to stick together is, stronger than that.
Are you trying to make it... Where are you trying to...
I am trying to get onto that field.
Okay.
That's where the sound is. That's where I've heard the name Anna. I'm going there.
Go ahead and roll me a conflict roll, please.
Ooh, that is 1/6.
2
ones.
2 ones.
I can't use that yet.
Quick. What happens? Go ahead.
I charge forward and I start shouting, Anna, Anna, Anna! And I kind of just peg it out into the middle of this field, and before I really realise, I am standing in kind of like it's like people have built like this shanty town kind of structure in the middle, and round the outside sort of the field is barbed wire and protective kind of wooden spikes. There are like sports equipment broken into stuff, and it's this might very well be where the survivors are, but it is a fortified thing, and I'm just like, whoa, like there's barbed wire everywhere.
Yeah, there is what you encounter. It seems to be sort of like a keep inside of a stadium, walls, inside the stadium walls. And as all of you kind of come together, you all like just about see like Frank stop, and some of you go a little bit further, and you feel something sticking on your leg, and you're like, oh, that is sharp, and so you stop moving and stop yourselves from tumbling over barbed wire. But yeah, that is what it is.
Right, A, you're a fucking psycho. B, well done.
Did you not hear it? It said Anna.
What are you talking about? It's just laughing. It's just the creep. But
No, I heard her name. She was here. We know she was here, and I haven't seen her since this all started. And I need to know if she's alive. And it was her name.
I don't know how to tell you this, mate. If the creepy laughing is saying her name, that's not a great sign. But I mean, look, we found people. I mean, that's what we've come here for.
Well,
isn't it?
we found something.
Signs of people.
Well, they were.
But hey,
weren't
I
they?
mean, it's better than nothing. We've
Yeah.
seen nothing since we got here.
Yeah,
So
I mean, good job on the sharpened sticks. I mean, yeah.
As you're having this conversation, all of a sudden there's a massive a massive lamp that gets lit up towards you, and you have to sort of like, all of a sudden your eyes have to adapt, and there are two figures that approach with you with rifles as well, so there's a bit of a standoff as you're all suddenly
Rifle
like,
bros.
and they have like sports equipment that's been like sewed together to make for sort of like coats.
body armor.
Yeah. All sort of like they're wearing like American football style helmets and rugby helmets and all that stuff to like make some sort of makeshift armor, and they most like you can't see. There's two figures. They are maybe about like, one is 6 foot, the other's like 5'7", so they're fairly tall, and they are pointing at you with these guns, but they have their faces completely covered apart from like a very small slit in the eyes. As they just kind of lift their rifles and just look at you, and without a sound they just look towards you and just say,
I turn around and look back down the corridor behind us.
okay, as you turn around, this figure sort of like puts their hand on your back, sort of like between your shoulder blades. One, the other stops and kind of like turns you around and makes it sound like,
Okay. Turn around.
yeah, you all turn around and they go through the same process, and then eventually they're like, I can't believe actually people made it here, and they this way. They can't shut the light down, and they open this like barricade for you guys to come in, and they lower the like balaclavas really, and you see that it's a male and a female. There are in here. The woman has sort of like darker skin. Now that she took her sort of headgear off, a shaved head, and she's just very much like no like all business kind of woman. And the guy also shaved head and kind of like on the lighter skin side, but he looks a lot younger than her. She looks maybe in like her 40s, and he's like early 20s at best. But seems to be one of those people like one of those boys that just like jumps in height all of a sudden and just bulks up real quickly. And she just turns to you and says, "What the hell are you all doing here?"
Looking for you.
Yes, the rescue team.
I mean, we sent out the message days ago. We didn't actually think that someone made it.
Oh, we didn't actually get the message. We were just kind of scouting around. Got a pretty sweet Humvee, and as you can see, we're pretty well armed.
I mean, how many people are here? Is it just you guys?
Where's Hannah?
Hannah, I don't know if... I mean, there were some people here, but most of them are left by now. There's 5 of us right now. We've just been... we've been here for... well, almost since the beginning. We're just the visiting team, and we just had to make do with what we had.
Got any snacks?
Yeah. I mean, we've got some energy bars and stuff like that.
I'm game.
Great. And kind of like takes some energy bars and starts distributing to you guys.
Cheers.
Well, look, we need to gather ourselves together and kind of come up with a way of getting out of here, because if we stick around, we're going to be screwed. We came here to help you guys out, and obviously this stadium is okay now, but like, I mean, we don't really know what's out there, right? So but we know that there's a drop point, that there's a helicopter coming. You know, there's a way out of here, and that's the way we want to go.
There's a helicopter coming?
Yeah. To the drop point.
Holy fuck. Alright, we'll...
But before, I mean, we've only got... I don't know if you guys have got any transport. I mean, you said you were the visiting team. Did you come here on a coach or a minibus or anything?
Yeah, but that's been just, you know, the metal bits that you see here, we kind of just pull it apart.
Right, okay, yeah. I mean,
Guys,
yeah.
I'm not leaving without Anna.
Is anybody here called Anna?
No.
Anyone? Anna? No?
Can you remind me of your moment specifically?
The I will find hope when Anna has been laid to rest.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, so you shout Anna, and you see the other three people kind of show themselves. It's two women and a guy. All of them in sort of their mid to late 20s, maybe early 30s, but none of them accuse themselves of being Anna, and you do not recognize any of them.
Did I heard her name?
Oh yeah, that laughing thing. Is that you guys? Have you rigged that up?
No, that's been there for, well, since that happened to this guy. I'm sorry. My name's Julia. I am the coach. Was the coach? I don't know how things work. This is Tom, Claire, Mark, and Judy.
I will shake Julia's hand and give a little wink.
Okay, she can succeed. And she says, well, you said, okay, you have a Humvee. You have a drop point? I'm sorry, I'm not too familiar with military terms other than films, which I haven't watched in a bit. But what is your plan? Do you have a plan? Or?
Well, we need to, we're basically scouting around for some survivors in town, take a couple of people with us. We need to refuel as well, but then we'll be heading out to, I think the point's called Delta, isn't it? So, yeah.
Don't suppose you
outside of town.
ripped the fuel tank out of the bus as well, did you?
No, it might still be there.
Alright.
That's fuel, potentially.
And then if we can, even if there's one vehicle in the car park we can get going, I mean, as you can see, we're pretty well armed, then, okay, we've not got the bus, but we've maybe got the convoy,
Yeah.
Frank is just looking forlorn. There is tears rolling down his face. He's just staring at the ground.
I mean, sounds like we need to find that Anna. I'm sure that if she was here, we can try and find her, or you guys can go and try and find her. That noise as well has to be coming from somewhere, maybe the main broadcast room. I've sent out some people, or some people went out and they didn't come back. I sort of just assumed that they just left. But
Dan opens his mouth to say something about the medical room and then sort of thinks better about it.
Does it ever make any other noises? Did I imagine it?
I have never heard another noise, but I've heard of people especially during the night, whenever people are trying to sleep, that they hear other noises. That's the main reason why some of them have left, really.
All right, well, I'm guessing you guys will need some time to get your equipment and whatever supplies you've got together. What are we thinking? Do we want to try and get back and sort of sort out the fuel situation? And I'm looking sideways at Frank, because I am pretty worried that we're not going to get Frank to come with us very easily until we do something about this.
I wonder if maybe with numbers we might be able to, kind of be a bit more of a force to act a bit more confidently, Get out there, find a vehicle first, secure our method of transport out, and then, and then maybe we can do a last sweep just to,
Just to put your mind at rest, Frank, but sounds like she's not here.
Alright, well look, I can probably get a car working. You're probably right. Let's do that.
Let's do that first, at least.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because whatever happens, we need a way out of here, right? So yeah, alright. I can pick up a car probably. If we got fuel, we'll be able to fuel it up. And then yeah, let's have I might be making it up. It might be whatever that's thing I've fucking missed. But
Focus on the car, then.
yeah,
Focus on the car.
alright. I will. Yeah. Right.
Well,
let's go.
we'll stay here just to keep things, just to gather everything, and then.
Yeah, we'll come and get you.
All right. Okay. What's the plan?
Taking point again. Same way out.
Yeah.
Same way out. So retrace steps.
She indicates you sort of the direction that you need to go to get to the car park, and eventually you arrive at the teams car park, the place that the buses come through to put in the teams and out, and you do find that there is a bus that is completely picked apart, and there's about 2 or 3 other cars in here.
Yeah, can I scout about for a car that's a bit more great, sports and cars, my specialist subjects. A car that is a bit more sturdy, a bit more roadworthy, and basically what is my opinion on these cars? I want the least smashed, most stable, secure car.
Go ahead.
Hopefully with enough seats.
You're like, I got goodies, guys. I got a 2-seater.
Being a sportsman, you're like, yep, got a Lamborghini, guys. It's great.
Okay, no 6s, and I've got 1-1. How can I use foolhardy to try and give me another shot at this one? I think I'm probably just getting cocky and making kind of too much noise. Like I'm just like, I don't know, I'm kind of slapping some bonnets, I'm like looking around and like poking, being like, oh, this one's a bust, just like, I kind of excited, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, the rescue mission is going well, and I'm being loud, and I'm not really, that is mine.
Yeah, hello.
So, how do I go? There's another one, so, no, that's a fail.
Alright.
So how many ones was that in total?
Oh no, I only rolled 2 1s, but I only had 4 dice, so.
It doesn't matter because we're gonna darken a candle and end the scene there. And please remove a dice from your pool permanently. So we're actually going to start the establishment of truth with the person that fails the roll. We're going to do that. So I'll pass it on to you, and then we'll go around. Now we'll establish 8 truths because there's only 8 candles around. These things are true. The world is dark.
Oh, I go to, okay, sorry. There's not a car here that's really in good enough condition to get these people out of here safely.
Tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially at this stage. There are more survivors in the stadium.
Oh.
Since Dan made the noise with looking for the cars, There hasn't been a noise in the intercom. There hasn't been a cackle.
There is a fuel tank in the bus with petrol, or fuel in it, sorry.
We don't find a car, but we do find the machine that's used to kind of spray the grass screen.
Yeah, I like it.
Dan, am starting to worry that Frank is going to be a liability to our group.
If we were to turn on a radio, there would be a message.
It is starting to get warmer. And we are alive.
We're alive.
So, with that established, we have jumped forward slightly with you guys finding in fact the bus does have some fuel in it, and yeah, how would you like to proceed?
Good news. There's fuel in the bus.
And I found that the machine for mowing the that'll hold some people on it, and when it moves, it's got wheels, right? We can fill
Not
it
going to
up.
be pretty quick.
It's not ain't going to be quick, but it's transport.
Slow convoy it is.
Got to get this fuel out first.
Yeah.
Just need a hose. There must be one.
Well, you found the green machine. Right. There's got to be something to water the grass with around here. I would have thought.
Yeah.
Sprinkler system, those sorts of things.
It was in the hangar bit, just off the pitch. Should we go have a look?
Right, yeah, let's go have a look. Okay.
Yeah, you make your way there, and you're looking for a hose?
Looking for either, just a hose that's used as part of the sprinkler system, or an actual hose pipe on a reel, anything like that. I'll take it. That is 2 6s and 2 1s.
That's what you find.
So I do find sort of part of the sprinkler system. It's like the sprinkler control system with a fair few hoses on it. So I'm just going to sort of pull one of them off, disconnect it from the system, and then take that back with Frank to the group.
Great.
I'm gonna try and be cheeky and say there's a watering can nearby as well.
I'll allow it. You get that one for free.
Oh, yes!
This garden is going to be great.
So yeah, we've got something to carry some fuel in and a hose to get it out of the tank.
Well,
I was going to say, who's going to be the sucker that gets to siphon it?
I think Frank would probably do that.
Yeah.
He's the engineer. If he's trying to concentrate on this kind of, this is something he knows how to do. It's keeping him kind of stable and steady.
Hose. Watering can.
Go ahead and roll me a conflict roll for this.
That is bad.
You got any one? You can't really.
4 1s and a 6.
Oh. Okay, it's not gonna. And yeah, you can't really lay Anna to rest. So.
I found her yet. I can't let her to rest.
Oh man.
The good news is that you've rolled more 6s than I did.
Oh,
so
boy.
you do,
but that's 4 1s out.
you do
So
get to say, you do get to say what you get to resolve this conflict.
So simply, I put the hose in, I get spit out a little bit of petrol. It's pretty grim. Fill up the watering can though. But as I'm doing that, we all hear a kind of like, "Hey, we were saving that."
Fucking rifles coming straight up.
Yeah, there's an individual that shows up, looks at you. So,
What?
what are you doing?
Getting out of here.
Fine, all right.
Sorry, were you with the folks in the centre of the stadium?
Yeah.
Or what are you doing out here?
Well, I was sent out to come see you.
Do we recognise this individual from that group of 5?
Not really.
Can we ask them what their name is? What's your name?
Oh, my name is.
My gun is up.
Yeah.
I mean, mine's been up since he said
well-
hey.
My name. Sorry, and they just kind of stop moving back.
Is he armed? I'm assuming it was a he, sorry.
Not that you can see.
Who are you?
They keep walking backwards, and eventually they kind of leave your line of sight.
Get that fuel in there.
Yeah, we need to get out of here. People are losing it here.
I will take a few.
I'm just gonna one of the cars that's like wrecked kind of around, I'm just gonna basically just get my rifle propped up against it for some hard cover and to stare back at where the guy's just backed off at, just so that I've got something to lean on.
Mm-hmm.
Can I count as having this as an item I happen to get?
Yeah, if you had it in your pocket.
When I'm finishing filling up the car, I fill this with petrol
Nice.
and put some rag in it.
Yeah, you tear a little bit of your uniform and pop it on top.
I'm starting to see the engineer. Nice.
Well, it's off. Always useful.
As you are getting ready, there is a static on the intercom. Are you ready yet?
I'm ready to get out of here.
Yeah.
Do we want to do another swim?
I'm wondering, guys. I've been thinking about it since we got out in this car park. There might be more cars outside, back the way we came, that we could look at and sort. We can't get everyone in the Humvee. And do we want everyone exposed on a grass cutting machine driving it through the middle of the city? No. But there's this stadium, right? They've got a fortress. It's enforced in the middle. There's enough space to land a helicopter in there. So maybe we could go to the drop point and then get the helicopter and get it into the stadium. Maybe that's better than trying to find another way to get more people out on vehicles we can't trust.
They're fortified in the city. We've got fuel. We can get moving.
And at least they're safe where they are.
Yeah, sure they're safe. Apart from that
But they've
thing.
survived where they've been.
It's changed now. Can't you hear it? First it was just the creepy laughing, which was bad enough, and now I miss the creepy laughing.
Yeah, but we've been stirring them up. Look, they've had enough time.
I do not think we can get our guy. You're going to think you're going to persuade a helicopter to come land here out in the mid, when we know there's something horrible here?
I'll fly it myself if I have to.
Sure you will.
Do you know how to fly?
I'm a pilot.
You're a trainee pilot, hotshot.
I was just short of my exam. I know how to fly.
I'll take it, mate. I'm all in.
Was that guy? Was he right there?
Well, there he is.
Was he a survivor? Or was he?
I think he's just a survivor who's, lost it.
I mean, if you're listening to that laughing day in, day out, that may
Do
send you a
you
little bit.
recognise him from... I don't think he was one of the ones we saw in the stadium. But it was hard... it's so dark, it's hard to tell.
I think going forward, if we don't see them and recognise them, and if they can't give one of the names that they gave us, like if they're not gonna give us a name or comply, I just don't think it's worth taking the risk, right? That guy seemed
Right,
insane.
so what you're saying is we shoot on sight?
We can restrain.
You don't want to start murdering people.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that guy, like, if he had a gun, what could have happened? Like, he was insane, right? He didn't want to give his name. He didn't want to talk to us. He was acting crazy.
Well, look,
And he could have been one of them. We
It
don't
was
know
his-
what they're like.
Look, it was his voice just on the speaker, wasn't it? He might have said Anna. He might be the one luring people away.
Do. Fuel.
God, the fuck.
Then, next task, right?
Right, we need to go back and talk to the people. If we are going to do this plan, which I think makes sense, we need to tell them, because we've just told them we're going to rescue them out of here, and we're saying, by the way, guys, we're off and we'll be back. That's a big ask now. So let's,
I mean, they were fairly happy to stay before
Yeah.
we said we can get them out of here. If we say we've got a way to get you out of here, you're just going to have to hang on like, a little
Yeah.
bit longer.
all right. Well, let's go and tell them, and then let's get out of here.
Quick check in the mirror.
Where are you checking your hair?
In the mirror of just one of the cars, one of the wing mirrors that's still intact.
Yeah, cool. As you are checking your hair, there is strangely like one of the lights inside of the car that sort of flickers, and you just see the face of this guy that had approached you just flashes behind you and then disappears.
I'll turn around slowly, not looking scared as such, but looking a little puzzled and just sort of... You trying to be funny?
He's not funny. Have you seen him?
I trying to be funny.
Did you say that guy come back out?
He's had his eyes fixed on the... He's not come out.
No one's come past me.
Told you. Not survival.
Kind of saw him in the mirror. Right, I'm not going crazy. Okay, no, just put that out there right
Great,
now.
now
It's
there's
me.
two of you.
Right, I'm not going crazy. It's
Look,
fine.
the nearest doors, he couldn't have come back around that quick.
Can I look to see the mirror he's looking in? What does that reflect back? Like, is there like a hiding? Was there anything?
No, just seems to be the sort of the main road where people come in and out.
Look, right. We live in a world where this has happened. It's not beyond belief that there's shit that is weird and we can't explain, right? Let's not deem like two people who are seeing weird shit or hearing weird shit to be crazy, right? Because all of this is crazy.
Yeah, all right. I get what you mean.
Thanks. I think.
I don't think it helps.
Right, so have a word
Yeah.
for your Humvee. Go down the road. Cool. Head back.
Who's taking point?
I will always take one.
Great. As you enter the corridor, there is, and you start walking down the corridor, the lights above you start to flash, but like in a sequential way, until it reaches the end of the corridor where there's a door, and the light in that room just lights up, and through the small window, you see the silhouette of what appears to be a female figure. And then the light just...
The first words out of my mouth are going to be potential contact front, having been trained by the pilot in some military speak. Eyes on, and I will just slowly make my way down the corridor, because that's the way we need to go anyway, but I'm going to take a bit more caution now. Rifle into my shoulder, slowly making my way forward. I will pause next to the door and wait for somebody to sort of stack up against the door with me.
Okay, I mean, I guess I come up kind of second, and then as I come up behind you, I just make sure that I'm ready, and then just give you a squeeze on the shoulder. What?
That's very love.
Is it quite a loving squeeze?
You could say so.
Take a bit of comfort. And I will
Got you, babe.
not burst through the door. I'm going to just open it slowly, but rifle up, scanning the room to see what I see.
Roll a conflict check.
With your whole 2 dice.
You are welcome.
Oh shit, well that's... So I will use my vice. And I'm a narcissist, I'm totally confident in myself, which is on that line of being brave, but also overly bravado. And I'm just going to look in there with purpose, and yeah, just have that purpose, no fear whatsoever, just straight in. So I will re-roll that one. 4.
I didn't roll any sixes, so I don't get any rights either. So that's the end of the scene. As you burst through the door, please snuff another candle for me.
You're taking another dice out.
Oh yeah. Again, another one.
7, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
These things are true. The world is dark. Matt.
There is a woman in the room, but she's cowering in a corner.
She tells us that the guy we've been seeing is hunting her.
I'm starting to think we should just give up on the people in this stadium and get the heck out of Dodge.
Through a partially opened window in the room, out to the outside of the stadium, we can hear in the distance the faint thumping noise of a helicopter flying in on the horizon.
The intercom, as you are having a conversation with a woman, turns on. You hear breathing, turns off.
I'm going to say through that window that you can hear the helicopter, there is a vehicle that looks more intact than anything else we've seen so far.
This woman also knows where the other survivors are. Understood.
And we are alive.
We are alive.
The woman, sort of having gained having eased up a little bit on you, she says, "Yeah, I know where others are. Well, might be. I was coming. Well, I was out here with someone else, and they got picked up or picked apart. And I think most of them are hiding in one of the dressing rooms. At least that's where I was. So yeah."
Why haven't you met up with the other survivors in the middle?
I was trying to make my way there, but that, she points to the intercom, has been driving me crazy and sending me in different directions, and I can't quite remember the corridor and what I need to take, and I just keep getting lost.
I will sort of sit her down a little bit, just have something to eat. No, it's all cool. We're here.
Just gonna take some. She eats it. What is it that you're going to do? Are you going to pick the guys at the front?
There's a plan to get you out of here.
All right.
All the survivors, hopefully, or as many as we can.
I feel like we should probably take you to the middle. We were going to go back to see those guys anyway. Let's drop you off, and then whereabouts are the dressing rooms in this place?
Can't remember. So,
Middle first.
Yeah.
Middle first.
Why is he toying?
I don't know.
Why is he saying names? Are they real names? Where's Anna?
Oh God. You know her?
She's here.
I'm so sorry. Anna was the one that I was with.
No, she's here. They said her name.
Because he knows how much you care for her. That's what they
How can
do.
he know that?
That's what they do. They just...
No.
I'm sorry, I saw it happen, so it couldn't have been faked.
Where? Easy. Where was it?
Up in one of the stands, the very north side.
I've got to go and see. I know I can't go on my own, but I've got to know.
All right, look, come on, get up. It's all right, Let's and I'll take off my hot jacket, put it round her, and say, right, yeah, come with us. We'll make an introduction. People in the middle have got this kind of equipment. You'll be safe with them, and sit tight for a bit, and we're gonna sort out some help for you. All right, come with us. We're not gonna get lost. We know where we're going. Don't worry. And then if you can point out the sky where you saw it, and then we'll be back.
Okay. Well, if we are in the field, I can point to where we were.
Okay.
You all sort of make your way through, and eventually reach the main field. And she does point to one of the stands, and to the very top level of them, as the position where her and Anna were.
I think Frank is just going to very slowly. Like, he has to know, but he is terrified. And he gets step by step by step between the seats, laid face down, and he kind of stands there for like 10 seconds or so, and just reaches out and brushes the hair from like the side of her face, and sees that it is Emma, and he just kind of falls back onto the steps and just sits there, just staring at her body. That's where he stays for now.
Would you... I'm going to assume that you have your moment up top of your card right now.
I think after a while then I would kind of bend down and I would lift her up and I would carry her down to the field, and I would pick up her, fill the dugout with like a spade, and I would just lay her very gently down on the grass, and I would stop digging, and I would dig for 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then I would lay her gently in the grave, and I'd say, I knew that I would probably never find you, but you, at least I can give you this. I never believed in any of the stuff that you did, but I hope you're in whatever heaven or whatever you called it. I'm sorry. And I would then fill in the grave, and I would just sit by it.
Go ahead and roll me a conflict check.
That is 2 6s and a 1.
I'm just going to double check. So it is a success, so you are going to gain your hope dice. So you can add that to your individual pool. So whenever you roll, you can roll your hope dice as well, and that's a success on the 5 and 6, and if it's a 1, it doesn't get taken away.
Yep.
And I do believe the ones still get removed because it's still a conflict.
Yep.
We didn't roll a 1, by the way.
Oh, you didn't?
There was no 1 there.
Oh, sorry, I heard.
Oh, I thought there was.
No, you got 2 3s.
Oh, sorry, that's my
2 2s and a 5.
terrible eyesight.
It's a shame it's so sad. That was probably the best roll we've had so far.
Cool. So, yeah, it was a success. So you are free to continue the scene as you wish.
I feel like while this is going on, I mean, I think, if there's only one spade, we're kind of like, right, this is something that Frank has to be doing. But, like, Dan is standing, like, really wary and on watch. And he's trying to look around to see if he can see, like, I'm so bad at sports. Like, is there, like, some kind of announcer, like, area? Can we see anything, like, around the stadium that looks slightly different? I'm thinking about the intercom. I'm thinking about something potentially watching us. Because I feel like...
I'm going to ask for a conflict roll on that.
Oh boy. No 6s. I don't know whether to re-roll 2 1s or not, or whether to just give up. Any opinions from the group? My hope is when I have a chance to be a hero, but I kind of feel like I haven't even established whether I've seen anything yet or not, so it's going to be difficult.
I
Might just have to take that one.
Yeah.
I think now that the animals here, we had to deal with that.
Yeah.
We've got a chance now to move on
Yeah.
quite a bit, which might be quite good.
Okay, that's fine. I will take that loss.
Great. Remove the dice. Darken the candle, please.
Did you get any 6s now or not?
I didn't.
Oh, you man.
Yeah. I've got 4 now, so it's the odds are starting to
Yeah.
these things are true. The world is dark.
Somewhere in the darkness up there, I think I can see movement.
As we're in the centre of the stadium now, in the time that Frank has been digging this grave, the sound of helicopter blades overhead has been getting louder and louder and louder, and on the air you can hear a broadcast as if from a megaphone at the side of this helicopter, but you can't make out what it is.
As you are taking a moment while Frank is digging the grave, at the very top of the stadium, not even in the stands, literally in the kind of cover of the stadium, you see 4 figures, each standing on each of the cardinal locations.
I'm going to say why that's while Frank's working through his emotions. We're having that conversation with the folks in the middle. Somehow we get them to agree that they'll stay here. We will go get the helicopter and come back for them.
So just to clarify something, you just established that it's a covered stadium, didn't you?
It's got a little bit of a cover, but it still has like a hole in
Still
it. Yeah.
With Frank's new purpose and hearing the helicopter, he does rig up some lights to shoot up into the sky.
Despite my misgivings about whatever is up there doing the broadcast, I feel like the people in the stadium are probably safer than we are.
And we are alive.
And we are alive.
There is now a jet of light shooting up through the hole in the middle of the stadium, and as a little bit of time has passed, and the helicopter is getting louder and louder and louder, you get the sense that it's. You probably know that it's making its way to drop point Delta, which has to go past the city, which is what you would have to do. So you were on your way through the city, catch people, keep going, and you are hoping that the helicopter is going to stop or at least investigate. At this point, the people have agreed to your conditions.
Mm-hmm.
The intercom picks up again. Dropping from the sky, dropping from the sky. The angels dropping from the sky.
I'm telling you right now, if anything drops on that roof, I'm shooting it.
Those figures, what do you think they are?
I'm assuming them.
Look, yeah, but
I mean, it's not easy getting up on those roofs, let's be fair.
I think if we've got any chance of that helicopter getting in here, we're going to have to do something about it.
Could probably nail them from the helicopter as we bring it over the top.
But they don't know that.
No, but we will.
But the helicopter, how's the helicopter going to land?
Right, are we still going to go get the helicopter, or are we now trying to use this signal? Because if we're going to the helicopter, we need to leave, now.
I think we go to the drop point. So at the very least, if we can't persuade them to come back for the rest of the survivors, then we can do something about that if we're on the helicopter. If they fly past and ignore the stadium, even with the lights, then if we stay, we don't gain anything.
If we leave and go and they do stop here, they can pick up the survivors and then they'll go to the drop point anyway, because that's where we're supposed to meet them.
It only makes sense.
I mean, that's a lot of ifs,
But before we go, I want to know why they checked our backs.
I mean, I was assuming it was the muscles, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, let's go and talk to Julia, because she needs to know. There's other survivors here. That are somewhere lost somewhere else in the stadium by the dressing rooms.
Well, she sent them out. It's not like she sent anybody to go find them again.
I think the people she sent out, the people we found blooming dead in the medical room. How many people has she sent out?
But yeah, okay, fair one.
Dropping from the sky, dropping from the sky. The angels, dropping from the sky.
Let's wrap this up, shall
Talk to Julia on our way out then.
Yeah.
Go on, you
find Julia.
You want to ask the questions.
So yeah, I think we drop by Julia and we just say, right, we're gonna head out. We've got the fuel. We'll get to the drop point and we'll come back. But I want to know, why did you check our backs when we showed up?
She looks at you and she says, we've had experiences of people with something across their backs, some form of protrusion, and they had something coming out of their backs. We didn't know what it was. They turned violent. They took some of our crew and then scurried away into the darkness. We've never saw them again.
Did you know that there were people that were like changing rooms?
Changing? No. I don't. How do you know that?
That's what the lady reported said.
Shit. All right. Well, you have your thing that you need to do. Everyone's going to stay here. Maybe I'll take someone with me if they want to come. We'll go to the changing room, grab who we can, come back here. That's what we'll do. That's the plan. It's the game plan. But you go along and do what you need to do.
Just make sure you leave someone competent behind. You've clearly got a level head, but don't know about the rest of them. Could have somebody strong, right?
Yeah, well, I've got just the person.
Good. We'll see you soon.
Hope so.
So I guess we run back out to the Humvee then.
Do you want to take the wheel?
Huh?
Do you want to take the wheel?
I'm the driver, I guess. Yeah.
Straight in the rearview mirror.
You're in the passenger seat. You turn the rearview mirror to you. I turn it back so that I can see behind me again.
Fuck's sake.
And as you turn the rearview mirror back, you see that face flash. Yes, it is.
I just like... It's not that I'm not fazed by it, but it's that, like, you know, I kind of realise that that's going to be a part of whatever's going on now. And I'm like, okay, there's some fucked up shit going on, but we're on a mission now, and like, if that guy followed that woman around, you know, I'm just, in my mind, I'm like, it's gonna follow us. We've just got to find our way of getting by. So, I take a deep sigh, key in the ignition, and I start the Humvee.
Roll me a conflict check.
Okay. I have a 6 and 3 1s, but I don't really want to have 3 dice gone right now, because I feel like it'd be useful to us, so... In this moment, I want to turn to each of us, you know, give everyone on the team just a look directly in the eye. I want to check in and I want to say, you good? You ready to go? You got this?
Always ready, brother.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
I am taking my shoelaces out of my shoes, getting my Mortal cocktail, and putting these round it, and then putting the shoelaces on it, and basically making them.
Got Molotov Claymore,
And I just look up and I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you got this.
And so I just take out from my vest, I hand a magazine of ammo out to everyone, and I'm like, don't know what's out there. We've got a plan for everything now. We've got to get these people home. And I'm going to burn my hope of proving my worth to my kingsman.
Nice.
And I'm going to re-roll these three ones. I'm sure as hell hope I don't get 3 more ones.
Surely not.
Don't.
No, okay, you got another 6.
I got another 6.
And no ones. How many do you get? Any 6s?
I have 2 6s.
I didn't get any.
No, okay, fine. I just worry because the man can't take control off if he ever rolls
That's
any
true.
6s.
I didn't. Was that your moment as well?
That was my moment of hope.
Take your dice.
Okay, still got all 6.
Yeah, so I guess we just get the Humvee started up. Just it's filled up with fuel. We've just siphoned all the gas into it, and we're just gonna head straight out of town in the direction we kind of know that this drop off point is roughly cardinally to the north.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna head straight in that direction. Find the nearest kind of tuck our way through cars, get away kind of out and through the city, and I think as we go, in the rear view mirror, seeing silhouettes, keep seeing silhouettes. Occasionally, light reflected off a building, back off the headlights of the Humvee. You can see that face of that guy as we pass by, who was just a silhouette on the side of the road, but given a momentary glimpse, isn't just a visage anymore. And we just keep going until we kind of reach the suburbs on the edge of town, and then open road again. No more cars to dodge.
Yeah, you are driving off open road, and it's once again a quiet ride. There's no more the kind of like hubbub of a city, even if the city is a ghost town. The interesting thing is that as you are traveling, the radio on the Humvee turns on. Falling, angels falling, and you just hear, and by the side of the road, there's been something that has impacted, and just kind of tilted the Humvee slightly, and it is essentially on 2 wheels right now.
Gun it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna turn the wheel in the adverse direction so that the other side of the car will slam back down onto the wheels and the suspension again, and not roll the car.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of a swerve, and then try and keep going.
Roll me a conflict roll with your hope dice. Don't forget that goes on a 5 as well. That's a success on a 5.
Okay.
That one's cocked, so you can roll again.
Was that straight on a 1?
No, it's a 3, but we've got
2 ones.
We've got 2 ones.
any 6s?
No. But
Okay.
I don't know whether you guys think I should burn my vice yet, because
I don't know how you can do that in this.
Can I burn my thing?
Is it roll? It is roll.
I think
I mean, if you can't think of anything, that's...
we'll
No,
just suck it
I
up.
think that would be a bit, be a bit shoehorned.
I
So
think that's
then-
quite a nice place for a cut.
Yeah.
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 Right. So we lose another dice, don't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
Another candle out.
So we're down to 5.
Down to 5.
5 and 5. We are matching.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Something says it's going to go south real quick.
Yeah.
But I've got an extra magazine of ammo. I'm happy.
Yeah.
These things are true. The world is dark.
As the wheels slam down on the Humvee, suddenly there's a roar overhead of that helicopter passing by. And now we can hear the the sound of the megaphone as they shout out the side. Any survivors, head north towards Drop Point Delta on the outskirts of the city. And you just hear that repeated over and over again, and with the Doppler effect disappearing into the distance.
What crashed on the side of the road appears to be human.
Human or not, Jake doesn't trust humans falling from the sky, and there is going to be at least 4 rounds put into this thing.
When the voice said angels, the plural was important, and many more have fallen all around us.
Yes.
Although the car may still be driving, the way it's juddering means that we didn't escape without some damage.
And we are alive.
And we're alive.
For now.
Yeah, as Jake immediately turns around, shoots 4 rounds. You have no idea whether they hit or not because the lights are pointed the other way. And as that happens, you just hear. There's 3 more impacts. As now 4 things, you don't know what they are, or just fall on different points of the road, and they slowly stand up. And I will say there are 2 that are in front of the Humvee, and you do see just the outline of an humanoid with sort of 2 what appear to be sort of wings, or that we would consider to be wings, as they just sort of stand up, and they seem to have their backs towards the Humvee. What would you like to do?
My inclination is to, again, the cars. I'm guessing Humvees don't have some kind of sunroof. I want to open a window or something, and I'm going to be trying to.
Humvees have front folding windows.
Yeah, they also
Okay.
have a top hatch, most of them. So.
Fantastic. I'll be popping out there, and I will be trying to shoot these things out front as best I can.
Roll me a conflict roll.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I rolled 3 1s and no 6s, so I'm gonna. I will find hope when I have a chance to be a hero, and I feel like I am at the top of. I'm at the top of the roof going, woo, and saying some kind of calling them motherfuckers, and shooting as hard as I can, and just doing like a war scream. And I still rolled 2 1s and no 6s.
You get to roll your hope die.
Just did it. Do I get?
Didn't
Oh,
gain
you
your
don't.
hope die.
I do. Yeah.
It's a moment gone.
Sad. Well, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the shoot. Sorry, guys.
Please snuff down another candle.
That was quick.
Yeah, that's what starts to happen.
That's what starts to happen.
4.
It's been you
sorry.
the last 3 times.
Don't
as
say that. No, it was Finn last time.
You're down to 4 candles, 4 dice.
4 candles.
well. How did that get said every single game?
Great. Well, these things are true. The world is dark.
I seem to be I seem to be shooting a lot of bullets and it doesn't seem to be having any effect on the things up ahead of us.
Suddenly, as we're coming along, in the distance, these two figures standing there, and they just light up in an explosion. They can't be seen for a moment, and then when the explosion clears, they're gone. And the helicopter flies back down the road past us, and then circles back around.
Once the explosion of light is done, and once your eyes get accustomed to it, you see that the two figures have moved off to the side to avoid any contact. They are still present.
Jake has joined Dan in the shooting and the frenzy, and is down to his last magazine.
And we are alive.
And we are alive.
The helicopter goes in. You guys, like, all your hair just starts blowing to the side. It's really hard to keep control of the Humvee right now. But the helicopter stops about, I want to say, about half a mile in front of you to give you time to reach. The two figures behind you and the two figures to the side start weirdly, like, moving in a inhumane speed, but you don't see the sort of movements of shoulders that you would expect. They seem to just be levitating towards you. What would you like to do?
Shoot.
I am getting my wallet.
Great.
It's going to be out that window.
Amazing. I am going to say one of you roll this conflict roll.
I'm gonna. I'm getting it. I was
You're getting it.
I'm
Great,
gonna
okay.
wait till they're closer together.
Sure. Smart.
Well, that's a nice easy decision. There's 2 ones in there, so I will use my moment as I click, and that was my last bullet. Gone. That's that. Just re-roll the ones, yeah. Come on. 5 and a 1.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Please snuff out another candle.
Seal it.
I don't get that either. That's gone, isn't it?
Oh my god.
Oh, you've lost your hope die.
Wasted hope dice. Rose.
Hey, 2 of you got it, 2 of you didn't.
Yeah.
And I've also got Dead Man's Click. Clink.
These things are true. The world is dark.
The helicopter is coming in for a landing. Did you already say it landed? Sorry, you say it was hovering.
I think you said it was coming in about half a mile in front of us.
Yeah. In which case, I will say it is. It is properly landing, and there are figures we can see disembarking. Great.
The car finally gives out.
As the sort of figures start to converge on us, it's my turn to glance in the catch a glimpse of the light off the reflection of the car and see that guy's face staring back at me again. And it always makes me laugh because I'm like, oh, I guess we're all crazy.
And we are alive.
And we are alive.
Kind of.
Yeah, you see a couple of figures making their way from the helicopter, who are now flash the just turn the lights on the side of the helicopter. Like the floods just start to inundate, and what you see is of these 2 figures, or of the 4 figures, kind of floating toward the front. Particularly, I'm going to say Dan and Richard. You can see just about like half of their face, and they seem to be somewhat humanoid, kind of, beautiful, conventionally speaking, with long hair, with dark skin, both of them. and they just kind of fly, levitate in. They reach towards the Humvee and just place their hands on the Humvee, and the entire thing just goes as the weight or the force that they are implying on this thing just shifts it forward. Both of you are going to almost fall off the Humvee because the windows are down, and you're just holding on. What would you like to do?
Molotov time.
It's Molotov time.
Great.
I am going to take the lighter out. I'm going to light a look. Right.
Go ahead and roll me conflict.
And your hope.
And your hope dice.
Yeah, don't forget the hope dice.
Look at it jealously.
As I throw it, I am going to go. This isn't and pessimistic.
Nice. Are you down to your? Is the next one your brink?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
I feel like I've burnt through these. I've kind of
It's the
seen
point.
them. I've kind of seen them as this is my goal.
Yeah,
Yes, I think it is good to get through
The
them.
point is to get through.
Big money.
6.
6.
Nice. Yeah, as you are it's a whole or nothing. Sorry, you rolled a 1-6. I rolled a 1-6. So I believe I'm going to say players go ahead. So yeah, go ahead.
I managed to I've only ever read about these in books, right? I don't know whether this is going to work or not, and I lob it, and somehow it just flies through the air, smashes directly into one of these figures. The coins fly off, the engulfed in flames, and we can see the wings actually aflame, and I think I'll leave it at that.
Great. The one that gets the wings aflame just kind of looks at you and screeches this horrible sound that echoes through the night, even overcoming the sound of the rotating propellers on the helicopter. But eventually, flies off away from the fire, but sort of illuminated, and drops down to the floor and starts rolling around, trying to douse off the flames. The other one was impacted by coins and also flies off, trying to escape the fire that's taking over. Great. Yeah. What would you like to do next?
Fist bumping Frank first.
He's in a bit of shock.
And then I think I'm going to scramble through the front to try and see where these two are and see if they're okay.
They didn't fly through. They're
just right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So in which case I am double checking to make sure my mates are okay. So I'm pulling them back.
Let's get out. Let's fucking run. Let's run.
Yeah, I mean, as we, I think, probably as we get out, I think we'll probably crawl through the front windows or out the doors or whatever. I've got a sidearm. I'm gonna chuck you whatever that is.
Thank you very much.
God knows if it'll come in handy. They don't seem to be affected by anything, but at least you've got that feeling of something. You've got something to protect yourself with. I racked my rifle, which to this point I haven't even fired because I've been driving most of the time, and we're just gonna peg it for the helicopter. I think.
Okay. I would like one of you to roll me a conflict check as you are running through the road.
I'll do that.
I was going to say I've still got 2
Can I
left.
just double check something? This is used in exactly the same way as
Yes.
the others,
Yeah. But it can, if you keep
be
succeeding,
reused.
it can be rerolled. If you fail, you lose your hope dice as well.
We have 2 6s and no 1s.
Nice.
Good running.
I have 1-6, so go ahead.
Okay, I think we
Baywatch run.
absolutely we are pelting it all the way up. I'm kind of half turned back. I just dump a mag and then I'm just bolt locks open, chuck another one in, push the bolt release and then just keep running. We get to the helicopter, and obviously we're surrounded by, I'm presuming, army guys. They've all got their they've got their MTP on their helmets, their their jackets, etc. And they're like, get the fuck on board. And we just hop on, basically dive through the open side of the helicopter doors, and then these guys all start backing it up and get back in.
Yeah, as you are, you get in, and there are 2 individuals that are kind of like flanking the group, and there are 2 other individuals in the actual helicopter flying it, and these 2 guys that are flanking are just shooting into the dark, trying to get something, shooting against the silhouettes that they see from the fire. But these figures just keep moving without stopping. Eventually, you guys all get onto the helicopter. The helicopter blades start picking up speed, lifts off. And yeah, you start to fly, but these figures fly as well. So, what would you like to do? The guys in the helicopter with you just kind of like chuck you some
Just some headsets.
Thank you. And they say, "You keep an eye out and you shoot anything that flies," and just keep like moving over, and these figures are approaching still.
We're heading back to the beacon over the stadium, yeah?
Are you crazy going back there? Have you seen these things?
That's where the survivors are.
They are the only
our
survivors
mission.
we've found. There are like
mission.
10 people there. They've got guns like us. So,
God damn, if you want to do this, then fine, but you keep these things away from us. And the helicopter suddenly just starts to turn away. Yep, you all grab on, and it starts making its way towards the stadium and the beacon of light. It is at this point, as it's turning, that you sense one of the sides of the helicopter just tilts slightly, and as you look down, you just see one of these figures holding on and starting to like make its way up towards you, and they keep repeating, "Falling skies, angels, falling skies,
I am
angels,
going to
falling
grab
skies,
my
angels,
handful
falling
of
skies."
heavy metal dice, and I am going to fling it in that.
Sounds great. Roll me a conflict check for that.
Hope.
Hope dice as well. Yeah.
I mean, that's not good.
That's not good either.
What do you got?
I mean a helicopter.
There's no 6s. What happens if there's a 1 on that hope dice?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
It's still
Fail, but you don't lose that dice. Right.
are there any other ones?
No.
It's not a fail. You just don't lose it.
Right,
A fail is
okay.
only if you don't roll 6s.
Right. Well, okay. Then
I'm going to have to stick with that
no,
roll.
there's no failure. Sorry, there's no 6s.
Great. So as you throw the dice, we'll see what happens. Snuff off another candle. Take out another dice.
Down to 2.
So we are approaching the end. Sorry, guys. These things are true. The world is dark.
The angel has plunged its hand into the side of the helicopter and damaged something important.
I wanted to die with my hands on sturdy ground, not up here plummeting out of the sky.
And we are alive.
And we are alive.
For the next 3 seconds.
There is an immediate alarm, like a echoing throughout the helicopter as you suddenly seem to be losing altitude. And those of you in particular, definitely notice that what you are losing most of all and very quickly is fuel. This creature seems to have put its hand through the fuel tank, and there is a guy in the helicopter that kind of turns, son of a, starts to go to shoot, and the weapon gets grabbed and just pulled, and this guy just falls to his death immediately as this creature just lifts up, and now it's just flanked by the side of the helicopter and is going to reach out towards probably Frank, as you were the one that was trying to throw dice at it.
I'm going to shove the pistol in its face and shoot.
Roll conflict, please.
Six and a 3.
Nice. I rolled 1 6, so go ahead.
So yeah, as this thing reaches for Frank,
I've rolled 2 6s. Sorry, there was one that I couldn't quite see.
He's got so many dice now, he can't see those.
As this creature goes to reach towards Frank, you manage to put the pistol in its mouth, and just as you pull the trigger, this creature turns its face in a way that the bullet goes through the side of the mouth, completely splintering its jaw. But the creature pushes it back from Frank, so it's not going to reach now. But it's now there's bits of skin just hanging from the side, and you have its full attention now.
Top stuff.
Yeah, anyone else would like to do anything? It's just screeching. The screeches once again go above the sound of the alarm of the helicopter. And you just hear the people, the guys at the front just saying, brace for impact, brace for... Fuck! Just let's turn around and just see what's happening.
I think Frank, having seen all of this happen right in front of his face, is just going to I think he's going to panic, and he's going to grab you and be like, we're gonna die, we're gonna die, all of this for nothing.
I've got my hand in an angel's mouth.
Yeah, Frank has just lost it now. He is terrified, and he's trying to get you to talk to him.
So in that moment then, with my hand still aimed, I would probably push you back down your seat and shout something along the lines of, get your shit together. And yeah, just try and calm you down, I guess.
At this point, the two of you that are kind of sitting on the other side, you just feel a breath or air and wind just impacting your back, as there's the other creature just puts its hand through the other door of the helicopter, just pulls it apart, and you're now flanked by two of these. How would you react to that, the two of you?
Shooting.
More shooting.
Lots of bullets.
All of the shooting.
I'm assuming we've had grenades and stuff in this helicopter. It's a military helicopter, right? There's plenty of explosive
have to do a
equipment.
conflict roll to check that.
It's great. I said something and you said something else, so I didn't have to roll it.
I got a 5 on my hope dice.
Nice.
That is a success.
Yeah, I kind of see what's happening here. They've come around behind. There's I basically tear the vest off that I've got on, just my webbing for my mags and stuff. I grab one of the grenades, I dump it in one of the pouches, pull out the pin, I chuck it in basically just into the front of this angel, and then I grab the rails on the top of the helicopter and I just swing and two-footed kick and just boot it at the side of the helicopter.
Okay, I'm going to say that is going to be this one's specific to find the grenades.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask another conflict roll for the kicking off.
Okay.
That was kind of two actions put together.
Okay.
Which is fine. So.
2 1s, but I'm gonna re-roll those.
I mean, I think your vice being volatile. If you're doing this swing
This is
off,
Very
very
volatile.
volatile.
Actually,
That is my point. I'll die in the crash. I'm not letting this thing tear me out to my death. I'm going out on my own terms.
Don't forget the hope dice.
Oh no! Do you re-roll? No, you don't re-roll that, do you? Because you're only re-rolling your ones.
You only roll your one.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. 2 6s.
Nice. I rolled 2 6s as well. So go ahead and describe what happened.
Yeah, like I say.
Do your dumb kick when you.
Yeah, almost exactly. I grab a frag grenade and I just tuck it into the webbing that I've had. I pull out the pin. I make sure that the spoon goes, and I just basically biff it straight into its face. And so where it was grabbing onto the helicopter before, it's kind of gone to with its arms to pull this thing off its face. And then because it's now kind of unstable, because it's not got its hands to hold itself up, say, swing, two-footed kick, boot it out the side of the helicopter.
Nice, yeah, and the creature eventually starts to fall completely covered in this vest of grenades. Tries to sort of fly away, but there is just an explosion that kind of throws the helicopter to the side a little bit, but it kind of also slightly stops the nosedive that you were on, and just a little bit off. You just are about to hit the ground. You are probably about 20 meters away. So
Has anyone got any items in their pocket to stop a helicopter crash?
Oh, actually,
What are you doing?
There's still one of these angel creatures on the other side, right? I'm going to look at him panicking and just throw myself into this angel creature to try and shove it off.
Couple of rolls.
1 and a 2. So re-rolling the 1. Brave.
Yep.
I'm going to full on try and rugby tackle this thing off the side if I have to. Nope, no, that one. 1 again.
it's 2 ones.
No, that one didn't re-roll, did it? So,
Oh yeah.
so that was a 1 again.
So that's the candle. We are now
Sorry,
on
guys.
to the last scene. Any failed rolls now doesn't mean that the scene ends. It means that your character will need to end. So these things are true. The world is dark.
Jake does slam into this creature, but not with enough force to knock it off. But as he hits the angel, the helicopter gets shunted slightly to the side a bit more, affecting its trajectory that's going to hit the floor.
And we are alive.
And we're alive.
Well, I'm about to die.
Yeah, the creature immediately grabs onto you when it's safe distance and just throws itself down, flips in the air, pins you to the floor. All of you kind of get the impact of the helicopter, and I'm going to say, because of positioning, that Richard, you, as you are holding on to this thing, when you drop kicked the angel, it kind of broke with the impact and lodged itself on your bicep.
Right.
This metal rod. So now you've got just a metal piece on your bicep. Both of the pilots seem to be dead on impact immediately. There's no noise coming from them, and Dan and Frank, the both of you kind of impact the front of the back of the seats, and then just kind of roll off the helicopter itself. As you see, just about in time, a flaming creature is just kind of twirling down, falling to the sky. However, that light, as it's twirling down, just shows 2 other silhouettes just flying down towards you. What would you like to do?
I am really sorry. My lift home is.
I know, we
going
are
to
running.
leave if I don't leave.
We are running over time.
So
Do
Frank,
you want to just roll one more dice and then?
Frank is going to. Frank is done. He's buried his wife. He has tried to help people and it's all gone wrong. His pessimism was proved to be right, and he is going to run.
Okay.
He's trying to run. He's trying to run away from the city. He just wants to be away from everything. So into the wilderness.
Go ahead and make me a roll. With your hope dice.
There's a 4 and a 1.
As Frank is running, there is one of these creatures just flies down and just places this point of the hand onto your forehead. I would like you to tell me, what is Frank's biggest sin?
Frank's biggest sin was that when this all started, he was too scared and he abandoned his wife instead of coming to try and rescue her and find her.
Frank relives that moment once, twice, 3 times, almost repeatedly, en loop, as this creature maintains the contact with your forehead. And from the moment they remove it, your body just drops on the floor, lifeless. Thank you very much for playing.
Thank you. Sorry, I had to.
No, it's
Thank
fine.
you, mate.
My fault that we're running a little bit over time. Very over time. Check.
This thing's on top of me, so I am going to try and use whatever martial arts skills I have to punch it, flip it off me, whatever I can do. If it's fully on top of me, then I might just try and throw it over my head if I've got enough leverage. But
Run the conflict.
6.
I rolled 4 6s though. As you managed to just about put all your effort into it and just flip around. This creature kind of gets turned, but like turns mid-air and almost basically lands on its feet, ready to engage you again. And it's going to kind of float up again, ready, like its wings completely fully spread, and it is going to move towards reaching to you with its right hand. What would you like to attempt to do here?
what would I like to attempt to
What would you like to do?
If I see its hand coming for me, then has it still got hold of me?
No, you completely got away from it.
In this moment, if I can see this, I'm going to look back towards where the helicopter is and just see what's on there. Seeing this, seeing the chaos, seeing Frank die all in this very short sequence, I am going to try and get up, run and grab whatever rifle supply, whatever is on the helicopter, and that is it. I'm just trying to survive now, so I don't care about anything else. The supplies, I want them, I'm out of here.
Roll me a conflict check.
5.
You scramble to reach whatever you might have. You feel a rifle, and you turn around. You see this creature flying towards you, hand extended, and you're like, got it inside. It's a headshot, and you feel something impact your forehead. What is Jackie's biggest sin?
Just before all this kicked off, Jake was a semi-successful salesman, and seeing the world starting to go to absolute rat shit, he stole whatever he could in terms of money from friends, family, thinking money will get me through this, and alienated himself from everyone in the process.
And you relive that moment once, twice, 3 times, on loop, until eventually the angel takes its hand off of you, and you fall lifeless. Dan, you fell to the side. You saw what happened to Frank, or at least you saw that Frank's body just dropped after this creature reached out. The other creature that was flying is flying straight towards you, and kind of runs past, like flies past you, looks at Richard, sees the suffering, and turns back to grab hold of you, essentially. How does Dan react to this?
I think Dan is trying to sort of scramble backwards out of the helicopter, away from it. Trying to raise his gun, but like his, like he's probably hurt his shoulder or something in the crash, so can't raise it properly. But he's trying to get away, scramble out the other side.
Roll me a conflict check.
It's a 5.
As you try to scramble as much as possible, there is almost like a taloned foot that just grabs a hold of your leg, but both of its talons just fall on the side, and your foot can't get through. As this creature looks at you, almost curiously, head tilted to the side, and just looks at the helicopter and says, "Falling sky, angels, falling sky," and reaches towards your forehead. What is Dan's biggest sin?
I think probably when he was younger and sort of making his way into sort of sort of becoming famous and sort of carving out his life, that he was very awful to people close to him, and he thought they weren't going to fit with his new celebrity lifestyle and treated them like shit. And does now live to regret that. Now his fame is kind of a distant memory, and he can't forget what he did to them.
You relive that once, twice, 3 times on loop, until eventually the creature takes its hand off of you, and your body relaxes onto the floor. Richard, a rod of iron protruding your arm. You see one by one your companions fall to these creatures, and now the 3 of them that remain look towards the helicopter, and they just keep chanting, falling from the sky, the angels falling from the sky, as they slowly approach towards the helicopter where you are. What would you like to do?
I think as I'm still in the helicopter,
Yeah.
right? I've been kind of stabbed through the arm.
Your arm is impaled.
Yeah,
by a
I'm
metal
impaled.
rod,
It's gone through like that, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of like hanging from the door. I'm assuming like kind of my right arm is kind of now out of the helicopter on the outside, and I'm kind of hanging where the helicopter would have landed, like on its side. And I'm kind of like, I can feel like the tearing of it as this pole has kind of gone straight through my bicep, and I just think to myself, like, I've just watched, these guys die, and and I realise like, like I have no idea what's happened when they've made contact with their heads, and like I don't even want to know what kind of torture that they've been put through, and I just think to myself like, fuck this. I reach down to the crate of grenades that's kind of like in the middle. I pull one up, and with the one hand that I've still got free that's been hit, with the last strength of muscle, I pull the pin, and I'm just waiting for one of them to come my way.
Go ahead and roll me a conflict check.
That is not a pass.
They keep approaching slowly, the 3 of them. And you get a situation where the 3 of them have their arms extended, and the 3 of them touch your head at the same time. What is Richard's biggest sin?
I think when Richard was a child, he had a brother who wasn't very well, and he kind of always resented the fact that his brother was getting more attention than him, despite the fact that he was ill. And when his brother died as a child, Richard, being only a kid himself, kind of didn't go to the funeral and didn't want to wish well on his brother, even in the afterlife. And in later years, he realised it was wrong, but in that moment, he kind of cursed the grave of his brother, and wished he'd never been born for taking all the attention away from young Richard, who just wanted to be the best he could be, but never got the attention that he wanted.
And as you relive that moment once and twice on loop, the camera slowly pans to your hand as the hands are removed from your forehead. Your hand just relaxes. The grenade. Cling, cling, cling. And we hear an explosion. And we cut to black. And now there's a little something.
They got us. We couldn't save them. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. I don't have any words left to say. Tell my family, if you find them, that I love them. And I wish everyone the best. May luck treat you all well.
Hey guys, we're off on a rescue mission, so if any of you read this broadcast, try and meet up with us. We're coming through with a Humvee, and we are armed to the teeth, so don't worry about it, we'll be with you soon. Keep your eyes out.
Anna, I'm sorry. I just couldn't, just forgive me.
Well, this could be it. So, what do I want my final words to be? They've got to be epic, right? I hope everybody remembers the hair, because it was awesome. But, look guys, I'm sorry. I'll call that out right now. Just don't forget the hair.
These things are true. The world is dark, but we are alive. Thank you so much for watching us play 10 Candles. A bit rushed by the end, but that's just because I'm very aware that we are running a little, very over time. Thank you for joining us on this journey. This is an amazing game that I hope I made justice. 10 Candles, written by Stephen Dewey. Amazing game that only uses D6s and uses a very strange, unique mechanic, as you see. Best played in the dark, with only the candles being the lights that are slowly fading away as you get completely pitched by the darkness. Thank you for joining us today. This was a very long day, but we played loads of games, and there's more tomorrow. We start tomorrow at 11 with a game of D&D, and then Alex is going to be back on this chair. I'm going to be back on one of those. We're going to play Alas for the Awful Sea, I believe that's what it's called. So join us from 11 till 5 tomorrow, and please stay safe, and thank you very much.